The Tulsa County Jail needs a bailout. 2 News investigator Marla dug through their expenses.
She found one area was way over budget, and tonight Marla uncovers what's behind the expense and what it's costing you, the taxpayer.
The 2 News investigators looked over the Tulsa County Jail's budget, and one expense stood out: overtime. It was way over, and we went to work to find out why. Getting locked up costs a lot of money and takes a lot of work.
Or you can just keep them messing up, or what's going on?
Just ask Sebastian Duca. He's a detention officer. He works with inmates all day long, patrolling the halls, monitoring the areas they sleep in, and he works with inmates.
It is very stressful. I mean, I think the hardest part is the time. You're going to be taken away from your family if you have families, or if you go to school, it's going to take time away from your school.
For months, it's been even more demanding. He's been putting in an extra 20 hours a week. That's because the jail is short-staffed, big time.
We need people to fill those holes. So I kind of help as much as I can.
Right now, I can tell you that we're about 80 to 90 positions down.
90 positions at least. Major Shannon Clark with the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office says ideally they'd have 435 detention officers. Right now, they have 292. That means they're at 2/3 of where they need to be. For safety reasons, they have to meet minimum staffing levels.
And we have to ask people to stay over and come in early, people to work their days off, just to have enough people to cover.
That expense is adding up. The 2 News investigators looked through the jail's budget. Overtime was budgeted at $45,000 last year. The jail went way over, spending $705,000 just in OT.
Yeah, you're going to see that number, and that number's going to continue to rise.
Clark says that's because the sheriff's office has a huge problem with keeping detention officers. The pay is low, and the stress is high.
Because it's really hard for them to make a car payment, a truck payment, and then just buy enough groceries and things to survive as a normal person. Then you thrust them in here to do one of the most dangerous jobs in law enforcement, is to guard inmates.
The officers were making less than $22,000 a year. By comparison, Creek County detention officers start at $28,000, and Rogers County starts at $30,000 a year. The Tulsa County Sheriff's Office just got their detention officers a raise. Now starting salary is $30,000 a year. Still, the increase happened months ago, but the overtime problem hasn't gone away. In fact, the department spent $100,000 in OT just last month. So was $30,000 not enough?
I don't know. Again, we think it's competitive, but a lot of our staff are leaving for higher paying jobs.
Sebastian says more money would certainly help.
The thought of getting more money a month for putting up with all the stuff that they have to put up every day with, it will be definitely a big incentive for some people.
The 2 News investigators called the Tulsa Jail Authority, which funds the jail. We talked to the chairman, and he said they would consider an additional raise for detention officers if funds are available, but says it's more important right now that they stay on budget, so he doesn't anticipate a raise. The 2 News investigators will continue to track your tax dollars and follow this story. Marla Carter, 2 News works for you.
Thank you, Marla. Now, to put it in perspective, all of last year's overtime could have paid salaries and benefits for 14 deputies. The jail is expanding, and that will mean 300 more beds and a need for more detention officers. The sales tax funding that expansion will pay the officers' salaries for 15 years, and after that, the jail will be responsible for the cost.